Hey, this is Sam Black with Shardless Bug and Legacy, which is the deck that I will be playing today. This is very slightly tweaked build of this deck, my version that I'm trying, I suppose. I have 2 Tar Pits. That's a card that people sometimes play 1 or 0 of. Probably not 0. Anyway, I'm playing a forest and a swamp over Wastelands. I think that this is a deck that people are going to be more prepared for now that Dig Through Time is banned and the combo decks are a little less good, and I think traditionally one of the better ways to fight this deck has been Blood Moon. And I think that if I cut colorless lands, obviously my mana can support a forest and a swamp, and then I can cast Abrupt Decay to get out from Blood Moon and be able to play the game. I could see cutting something else for an island to be able to fetch all basics, but I think this is a good start. With those and Deathrite Shaman, you can basically do what you need to do. Only 3 Ancestral Visions and only 3 Shardless Agents. I'm basically just trying to make room for some other cards, and these are on the slow side, I guess. I think that the deck is pretty well positioned against the more like mid-range matchups, which are where Ancestral Vision and Shardless are best. So I'm trying to move my deck away from the slow grindy stuff. Maybe just change it up, I guess, because what I'm really doing here is I'm adding Jace and Tasigur, and those are also more like slow grindy cards, and so I felt like I had to cut from the cards that are best in those spots, which were Visions and Shardless Agent, to make room for that without disrupting the deck's abilities against other things. Then I have a discard package to fight combo with Thoughtseize and Hymn to Turok, and then Force of Wills. I'm playing only 3 Force of Will main rather than 4. I think that the banning of Dig Through Time means that Force of Will is a little bit less important, and I generally like to try to get away with only 3 Force of Wills when I can, and this feels like it should be a spot where that's possible. Maxed on Deathrite Shaman, Tarmogoyf, and Abrupt Decay, which is pretty traditional. Only 2 Baleful Strix, 2 Liliana, only 1 Jace. I think that you kind of need 1 Jace because it's just such a powerful tool, but you don't want to overload on Jace the Mind Sculptor when it's competing with Jace Friend's Prodigy that you might want to cascade it, that you might end up cascading into. And there's obviously some negative interaction there. Tasigur is a card that I haven't seen a lot of other Shardless Agent decks playing, but that I think is just like not played because it didn't exist before, and then Dig and Treasure Cruise existed, and it feels like a card that should be really well positioned in this deck. Good for fighting against other decks with Abrupt Decay. And I mean, like, I'm playing 11 fetch lands and Brainstorm, and I mean, Legacy is just a format where you're going to be good at delving, and it's not unrealistic to get to 5 mana where you can play this and use it immediately. Jace obviously makes it even better, for all the reasons that Jace is usually good with Tasigur. So I think that's going to be a nice addition. And then my sideboard is reasonably traditional. I'm not using the Scrubland Meddling Mage package that is very common. Again, I think there are going to be fewer show and tell decks than there were, so it's a little less important, and I just want room for other things. So I have a couple of Vendilion clicks that are kind of in that slot, and then those made room for the Force Will that I moved out of the main, and Toxic Deluge that a lot of people have in the main that I have in the board. And then I have a Surgical and a Nile Spellbomb and a Grafdigger's Cage as a mix of Graveyard Answers. I like Surgical a lot in Legacy in general with discard, because you can just be another way to fight combo. A couple of Disfigures and Golgari Charms, just additional removal. Golgari Charm is really good against Death and Taxes and Elves, and pretty versatile with the other modes. One Null Rod and one Needle. I'm not sure if Null Rod's better or worse than a second Needle, but a little bit of extra flexibility is. I mean, I generally like diversifying my sideboard slots when I can. If I play against something like Painter or any Affinity deck, obviously it would be a lot better to have Null Rod than Needle. Whereas Needle would be a little bit better against Sneak Attack or Miracles. But I think Null Rod is serviceable against Miracles. So, this is where I'm at, and this is the deck I'll be playing.